Okay, hello again, and nice to meet you again in part 2 of I2. Okay, um, as you remember, in part 1, we went over those requests and responses for requests, and the last part, 5A, we checked a look back, but 5A, I asked you to do a little bit work yourself and then check them. So first let's check these ones, then move to unit 3. Um, as you remember, when we want to use request sentences, we start usually with would you, could you, will you, would you mind, and sometimes we use indirect questions starting with do you know, can you tell me, or could you tell me, with these phrases at the beginning of the direct question. And then we have these can you tell me, do you know? Then the next question is not in the form of question, is like a normal statement. For example, can you tell me what time the buses run? Can you tell me, could you tell me where the nearest restaurant is? And after would you mind, after the other ones, could you, would you, can you, we use base form of the word. For example, could you hold the line, please? But would you mind is different from the others. After would you mind, we have verb plus ing. Would you mind helping me around the house? And when we want to respond to these request sentences with would you mind, you should be very careful because you can answer with no. Because when you say would you mind helping me means is it okay for you, if you don't get bothered, can you help me? So the answer is no. Would you mind helping me? No, of course not. It means that it is not problem. I'm okay to help you. So the answer here can be also no, it would you mind. Okay, now let's check 5A. Yeah, here. You're supposed to match the request with the responses. Number 1, excuse me, could you tell me where I can find the bathroom? B, yes, of course. It's just over there, down the stairs and on the left. Number 1, B. 2, could you call me a taxi? C, yes, of course. Where do you want to go? Number 3, would you mind helping me with my bags? They're very heavy. E, of course not. Look, would you mind? When we have would you mind, of course not means of course it is not a problem for me. I can help you. Of course not. Let me take your suitcase. Number 4. Sorry. Yes, number 4. Would you mind opening the window? Sure. It is very hot in here, isn't it? Isn't it? Do you remember? Isn't it is a tag question. Okay? So for would you mind, you can say no, of course not, or you can answer with sure. Could you tell me what time the restaurant opens? Could you tell me what time the restaurant opens? Look, we don't have a question form. We have this normal statement. So the answer for number 5 will be D. I'm not sure. Let me have a look. Yes, it opens at 11. Okay, about the answers, we talked about the answers. You can answer with yes, of course, sure, why not? If you are not sure about something, you can start with I'm not sure, let me have a look. And these kinds of statements we use to respond the request. And once again, I want to mention that in request sentence, actually, you want somebody to do something for you. This is a request sentence. You want somebody to do something for you. But sometimes you want to do something for somebody else. This one is offer. You offer help. But in request, you ask somebody to do something for you. In offer, you offer to do a favor, to do something, to do a favor for somebody. So this is the meaning of a request sentence. Good. Now, uh, feeling stressed. Unit 3. Um, when do you usually feel stressed out? Stress is one of the important and basic emotions that everybody faces all the time and everybody experiences during the whole life, throughout the life. And we have some other basic emotions. Uh, Definitely, you know which ones. We have some of them here in the picture, in these pictures. Let me, okay, look. Picture A. Uh, what do you think about picture A? What expressions can you see in their on their faces? Um, they look shocked. Hmm? Maybe they're reading a piece of news and or something interesting, and they are really shocked. Uh, yes, picture B. Hmm? They are frightened. They are frightened. They are afraid of something. And as you see in the picture, they are watching maybe what? Yeah, a kind of horror movies, and they are scared. Picture C, he might be a boss. We're not sure. He might be a boss, and he is angry with the employee. Something bad has happened. Maybe the employee hasn't done his job, his task well, and the boss is angry. D. What do you think about D? He's looking at something and he feels disgusted. Okay. And E. Yeah, sorry about disgust. Usually, you get disgusted when you feel bad smells, smell of garbage, or a smell of rotten food. I don't know. Sometimes some animals or some insects are disgusting. Uh, E. mm, Friends hanging out together, and they are very happy and joyful, yeah, cheerful. And F, yeah, this lady looks sad and she's crying. So she's experiencing a feeling of sadness. Okay, now, so here we have the 6 basic emotions. According to BBC, Focus magazine, there are 6 basic emotions which we all experience, recognize in other people, and show in our own facial expressions. Facial means face, it comes from face, adjective of face. Yeah, usually when you look at somebody regarding their facial experience, you can understand, recognize, discern if the person is sad, happy, or disgusted, or other emotions. Now, they are means these 6 emotions are fear. Remember, fear can be a noun, can be a verb, and the adjective is fearful. Fearful, frightened. I fear animals. Um, I myself, I fear insects mostly. As a noun, we use with of. I have a fear of insects. Fear. Probably the most basic emotion, fear activities, a part in our brain which allows us to escape from danger. Fear activates a part in our brain which allows us to escape from danger. So, fear is one of the basic emotions and activates a part in our brain which allows us to escape from that fearful situation. Um, you usually experience this feeling of fear, for example, when some natural disasters happen. So when you feel, for example, earthquake is happening, it activates your brain, a part of your brain, and you start running. Or when you see something dangerous, an accident, um, these things cause fear actually in you, and you experience that feeling. When sometimes this fear is beyond what it should be, beyond means more than what it should be, then it is called phobia. Number 2, anger. Our ancestors used this emotion to try and deal with the problem rather than run away from it. Um, I want to say that in the past, they used to use this emotion to deal with the problem rather than run away. Maybe nowadays people mostly try to run away from problems rather than dealing with the problems. Um, we talked about getting angry, yes, when we have problems, mostly with our computers, with the devices that we're working. We talked about this one. When you get angry, what you usually do. Some people swear at their computers, even sometimes they swear at Bill Gates. I don't know, but the people around, definitely you remember this part. Number 3. The meaning of rather than. They try to use this emotion to deal with a problem rather than run away. Rather than means instead of escaping, they try to deal with a problem. Distress, loss, or tragedy prompts a feeling of sadness. Loss, is a noun of lose, losing a person you love, losing something important in your life, your job, I don't know, your happiness, um, or tragedy prompts a feeling of sadness. Prompt means cause, make, cause. is much better here. Cause a feeling of sadness. Prompt. This often results in tears, a lump in the throat, and a feeling of heaviness in the chest. So this sadness results in results in tears. You start crying. Uh, a lump in the throat. A lump in the throat. Sometimes you just think that something has got stuck here. You cannot laugh, you cannot speak, and you just want to cry. This is a lump in the throat. Usually doesn't let you breathe easily, doesn't let you speak and smile, and you just want to cry. And a feeling of heaviness in the chest. Um, Heaviness in the chest. See a sad person, and you may feel sad too. So when you come across with sad people, usually you get sad, but actually we try to impress the other person and make her happy and cheerful. Number 4 is joy. The simplest things that induce this means this feeling, joy, like a kind word or a sunny day. Induce again here means cause, just like prompt. Induce also means cause. The simplest things can induce or prompt this feeling of joy, like a kind word. Very simply, for example, when you see somebody, oh, you look beautiful today. How beautiful, for example, what a beautiful dress. These kinds of simple things can really induce this feeling in others. Or a sunny day. This is the most positive emotion and a great motivator, as we will actively try to repeat activities which bring us joy. Uh, Great motivator. Motivator, comes from motivate, and when you motivate somebody, you encourage somebody. So motivator is something or somebody that motivates you or encourages you to do something. Number 5, surprise. Life is unpredictable, so surprise is a useful emotion. Unpredictable, yeah, is something that you cannot predict it. Hmm? For example, about natural disaster, for example, earthquake is unpredictable. You don't know when and why it happens, when it happens, so it is unpredictable. So surprise is a useful emotion. They say that they believe that a teacher should be unpredictable and that students shouldn't be able to guess what the next action will be, to be unpredictable. When something surprising happens to us, we raise our eyebrows or to open our eyes wider to allow us to see what is happening. Uh, Raise, to look like this, to raise your eyebrow in order to open your eyes wider and see the situation better. Allow yourself to see what is happening. Um, and discuss. We discussed. We will naturally feel disgust at certain objects and the smells, like the smell of rotten food. Naturally, yes, normally, like the smell of rotten food. Rotten is opposite of fresh. Fresh food opposite rotten food. When you don't put food in refrigerator, after a few hours it smells terrible and it gets rotten. We move away from these things which may carry disease. So this emotion protects us. So the sometimes these emotions, just like fear in some situations and disgust, can protect you from danger. Okay, thank you. Now, so picture A, can we say they are expressing a feeling of surprise, B, fear, C, anger, D, disgust, E, joy, and F, um, distress. So, yes, distress means feeling sad after losing something. Okay, thank you. Now we have some questions here about these feelings and what actually prompts and induce these feelings in you. In order to practice more, you can um, read the questions and find a partner and express your feelings when you feel frightened, when you feel worried, when you feel embarrassed. Let me check one by one the words. Annoyed, you know, um, when somebody irritates you, offends you, you feel annoyed or you are bothered. Relaxing, being calm and relaxed. For example, listening to music is very relaxing for me. And uh, about annoyed, I can give you an example. For example, um, when somebody is nosy and is curious about my life, for example, my personal life, I get really annoyed. I don't like it when somebody is nosy about my personal life. Doing exercise, listening to music is relaxing for me, and I feel relaxed. Um, when I don't go to work, when I have nothing to do, I really feel bored because I'm generally an active person, and when I have nothing to do, I feel bored, um, frightened. Mm, uh, when I see insects, I'm really frightened. So insects, in particular spiders, are frightening, and I'm frightened by these insects. Worried. Um, I'm not worried about my son's future because I believe he has this potential to be successful. I'm not that much worried about his future. Embarrassed. Uh, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I really felt embarrassed when I wanted to say hello in public. It was really embarrassing for me, and I've always felt embarrassed in these kinds of situations. Exhausted. Uh, After working hard throughout the day, I felt exhausted. Exhausted means extremely tired. Confusing. Um, Grammar. Some grammatical points in English are confusing. Confusing, and you cannot understand. Confusing, or when you're confused, you can also use puzzled. I'm puzzled. I'm confused. I've got lost, as you remember. Shocked, when you um, when you hear some news or uh, unpredictable things, causes, prompts, induce a feeling of shock in you. And satisfying, I think teaching is a satisfying job, and I'm satisfied with my job. Of course, not with the pay, but emotionally, really teaching is a satisfying job. Okay, good. Now, we have, as you see here, all of them are adjectives. Some of them end with ed, some of them ing. How do we use them? In which situations? Look, let me read number one. Which ending is used to talk about feelings? Ed or ing? Talk about feeling. Okay? Uh, for example, I feel tired today. I feel, I feel, I don't know, confused. When somebody is giving an address, I feel confused. So, which one? Ed. So, when you're talking about feelings, you use ed. Which ending is used to talk about the cause of feeling? Ed or ing? Look, for example, look at number two. What sort of things do you find relaxing? For example, I answered this way. Listening to music is relaxing. Doing exercise is relaxing. Um, Resting at the beach is relaxing. So a cause of feeling is expressed by ing. Look, something outside, an outside factor is relaxing, and it causes a feeling in you. You express this feeling by using ed. Uh, for example, the movie. I watched a movie last night. The movie was frightening, and I was frightened. The class was boring, and I was bored. The grammar was confusing. The students were confused. So, outside factor that causes the feeling with ing. You express your feeling or you express somebody's feeling with ed. Okay, now let's practice with this part. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the adjectives above. Remember to use ed or ing ending. Number one is done for you. It is very worrying watching the news at the moment. I think there's going to be another war. These days, news are really worrying.
all, distraction therapy. What's that about?
Well, basically, the idea is that a lot of people, when they get angry, they don't know what to do with their anger. They don't deal with it very well. They just keep it inside. But if you don't deal with your anger, sooner or later it will explode. So with destruction therapy, you use your anger to destroy something, but in a controlled way, and the idea is that if you do that, it helps you to feel better.
Okay, I get angry a lot. Can distraction therapy help me?
Perhaps we can try it. What we do is we take you to a place full of old cars. When we get there, I'll give you a hammer and you can use it to smash a car to pieces.
Really? Is it that simple? If I smash the car to pieces, will I feel better?
Yes, a little. But that's only the beginning. Then I'll ask you to think about a situation in the past when you felt really angry. And when you think about that anger situation, you'll hit the guard much harder, and the therapy will be much more satisfying. When we finish the session, you'll feel much better.
That's amazing, and businesses are using this kind of therapy in Spain. Is that right?
Yes, there are some old hotels in Spain. You can pay to go and destroy the hotel. So some companies who feel that their workers are stressed or they need to build a team send their workers to destroy the hotel. And it's a good way for them to get rid of that stress. It works.
That's incredible. But there's another idea I wanted to ask you about. People say that laughter is the best medicine, and nowadays, laughter therapy is used in hospitals to help people with pain.
That's right.
So, how does that work?
Well, if people laugh about something, they feel better. On average, children laugh up to 400 times a day, but when we grow up, we only laugh about 17 times a day. And it's not enough. Because when you laugh, your body produces chemicals, and these chemicals make you feel happier. And they also make you feel less pain. So in Mexico, for example, they use laughter therapy in hospitals. A group of people go around the hospital, visiting the patients, and basically they make them laugh by telling them jokes or doing something funny.
And does it really work? Do people feel better afterwards?
Absolutely. They feel better and they don't need medicine.
That's brilliant. So in Mexico, laughter really is the best medicine?
Yes, it looks like it. That's right.
Okay, so which two therapies does the program talk about? Hmm? Two therapies. One was this destruction therapy. The other one was laughter therapy. Okay. Let me write them for you here. Maybe you don't know this destruction destruction therapy. It comes from destroy, the noun of destroy, destruction therapy, and laughter therapy. And laughter therapy. Okay, now what about the second question? Therapies are used in different situations. Which situations are mentioned in the program? About destruction therapy, it was mentioned that it is used to control anger and stress. To control anger and stress. Laughter therapy is used in hospitals mostly in Mexico, and to reduce pain and feel better. So with laughter therapy, patients feel better and less pain. Thank you. Now listen again and check them true or false.
Unit 3. Emotion. 3.1. Read the definition and listen to the radio program. Answer the questions.
So you're going to listen Check true or false, and for false statements, write the correct form.
Welcome to Start the Day.
Hello, can I help you? Your call is important to us.
Hello,
can I help you? Sorry, all our operators are busy at the moment. Please hold.
They put you in a queue for ages, listening to this terrible music. When you finally speak to someone, you're so angry, you just want to shout.
Anger. We all know the feeling. A report out last year shows that people are getting angrier. 1 in 10 people say that they have trouble controlling their temper. Traffic jams, airports, call centers, computer crashes. They can all leave us feeling angry, and anger is difficult to control. Or is it? Professor Miller from the Metropolitan University is here to tell us about 2 very different therapies to help deal with the stress. First of all, distraction therapy. What's that about?
Well, basically, the idea is that a lot of people, when they get angry, they don't know what to do with their anger. They don't deal with it very well. They just keep it inside. But if you don't deal with your anger, sooner or later it will explode. So with distraction therapy, you use your anger to destroy something, but in a controlled way, and the idea is that if you do that, it helps you to feel better.
Okay, I get angry a lot. Can distraction therapy help me?
Perhaps we can try it. What we do is we take you to a place full of old cars. When we get there, I'll give you a hammer and you can use it to smash a car to pieces.
Really? Is it that simple? If I smash the car to pieces, will I feel better?
Yes, a little. But that's only the beginning. Then I'll ask you to think about a situation in the past when you felt really angry. And when you think about that anger situation, you'll hit the guard much harder, and the therapy will be much more satisfying. When we finish the session, you'll feel much better.
That's amazing, and businesses are using this kind of therapy in Spain. Is that right?
Yes, there are some old hotels in Spain. You can pay to go and destroy the hotel. So some companies who feel that their workers are stressed or they need to build a team send their workers to destroy the hotel. And it's a good way for them to get rid of that stress. It works.
That's incredible. But there's another idea I wanted to ask you about. People say that laughter is the best medicine, and nowadays, laughter therapy is used in hospitals to help people with pain.
That's right.
So how does that work?
Well, if people laugh about something, they feel better. On average, children laugh up to 400 times a day, but when we grow up, we only laugh about 17 times a day. And it's not enough. Because when you laugh, your body produces chemicals, and these chemicals make you feel happier. And they also make you feel less pain. So in Mexico, for example, they use laughter therapy in hospitals. A group of people go around the hospital, visiting the patients, and basically they make them laugh by telling them jokes or doing something funny.
And does it really work? Do people feel better afterwards?
Absolutely. They feel better and they don't need medicine.
That's brilliant. So in Mexico, laughter really is the best medicine?
Yes, it looks like it. That's right.
Okay, great. Let's move one by one together. Number 1. 8 out of 10 people have trouble controlling their anger. It is false. Why? Which part? The first one. 8 out of 10? No. 1 out of 10 people. Number 2. With destruction therapy, you use your anger to destroy something in a controlled way. Yes, true. With destruction therapy, you control your anger. Number 3, if you think about a situation when you were angry, the therapy will be more enjoyable. It is false. The therapy will not be more enjoyable. As you heard in the listening, it said the therapy will be more satisfying. Number 4, in Spain, some companies pay for their workers to build hotels. It is false. Not to build hotels, to destroy hotels in destruction therapy. Number 5, in Mexico, they use destruction therapy in hospitals. No, in Mexico, in hospitals, they don't use destruction. They use laughter therapy. So it is false. Number 6, laughter therapy can help people to feel less pain. Yes, that's true. And number 7, on average, children laugh 100 times a day and adults laugh 17 times. No, that's false. And children laugh something about 400 times, not 100 times. On average means not not exactly. Sometimes a little bit more, some of them a little bit less, but average is 400 times. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, good. Before starting this part, I want to ask you a question, 2, 3 questions. Um, for example, when you heat water, what happens when you heat water? You put water on heater and heat it. What happens? Very good. It boils. When you heat water, it boils. And it happens everywhere. In Iran, in Tabriz, in Tehran, I don't know, at the mountains, in the United States, all around the world. This is a fact, a principle. When you heat water, it boils. Or in Iran, generally in Iran, what people do when they get married. Normally, when they get married, they hold a big ceremony and a big reception. This is something that generally happens in our country when couples get married. Now, um, for example, imagine you want to immigrate. Okay, I ask you, okay, if you immigrate, what will you do? Some of you may answer, okay, I will continue my studies and I will find a job there and I will feel happier there. Good. Um, Now, if, for example, if it rains, you want to go to class, for example. If it rains, what will you do? I myself, if it rains, I will I will not walk. I will take a taxi and go to class. I don't like to get wet. I will take a taxi and go. Now, we have some statements here. Let's read them together. When people get angry, they don't know what to do with their anger. B. If we get there, I'll give you a hammer. C. If I smash the car to pieces, will I feel better? Smash. Smash means cut something into pieces. Crush something. Cut it into pieces. If people laugh about something, sorry, if people laugh about something, they feel better. So, According to these statements and regarding the questions I asked you, now let's try and complete the rules. If plus simple present, if plus simple present plus blah 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 equals zero condition. If plus simple present plus again simple present zero conditions. Do you remember my example? When or if you hit water, it boils. Both sides are simple present. It is zero condition. Or as we have an example here, if people laugh about something, they feel better. Number 2, if plus simple present plus blah 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 conditional type 1. If we get there, I'll give you a hammer. If I smash the car to pieces, I will feel better. So, if plus simple present plus will equals conditional type 1. Now, what do you get from this rule, these rules and examples? Zero conditionals are the sentences that expresses facts and principles, something that is generally true. But conditional type 1 expresses the conditions that we are not sure about it. Okay? We are not sure if it will happen or not. If I smash, I will feel better. We are not sure that will happen or not. I'm trying to immigrate. If I immigrate, I will continue my studies because I'm not still sure that I will immigrate or not. Okay? Now, in order to have more information, to go to more information, let's go to Language Bank. Language Bank page 36. Language Bank page 36. Yes, 3.1. 3.1. Okay. Conditional sentences. Condition refers to future action. Okay. Future actions, simple present. If the book is interesting, look, in if clauses or conditional sentences, we have two clauses. The one which starts with if the book is interesting, this is one clause. Then it is called if clause because if it starts with if the book is interesting. Then we have another clause which is called main clause. I will buy it. So if the book is interesting, this is my if clause. What is the main clause? I will buy it. So why do we call it main clause? Because if a listener just have this one, if the book is interesting, so it is not complete. You need another clause to make that sentence complete and get a complete meaning out of this sentence. So this main clause comes in order to complete the if clause. If the book is interesting, what will happen? I will buy it. This is called main clause. And this main clause is the result of our if clause. Is the consequence. Consequence means result. Is the consequence of if clause. It means that I will buy it in a condition that the book is interesting. So if the book is not interesting, main clause will not happen. So it is consequence or the result. That is why we said that actually if clause type 1 is conditional. It might happen or not. It depends on the condition of first clause, first if clause. If it is interesting, I'll buy it. If it is not interesting, I won't buy it. So it depends on the if clause. We say it might happen or not. For example, I'm going to buy a car. I say if it is reasonable, the price is reasonable, I will buy it. If it is expensive, if I cannot afford it, I will not buy it. If the weather is good, I will go on a picnic this Friday. So this happening, going on picnic depends on the weather. So here is conditional type 1. In conditional type 1, if clause is simple present, this is a rule. We should just memorize it. First part is simple present. First part, if clause. Main clause can be used in 3 different ways as you see here. It can be with will, future, that mostly you use this one. Then you can see this one. If the book is interesting, I'll buy it. Or you can use imperative form. Imperative, means when you want somebody to do something. Open the book. I don't know. Close the window. Don't speak. I don't know. Go there. Do this. This is imperative. If the book is interesting, buy it. And you can use modal auxiliaries. Instead of will, you can use can or also may. If the book is interesting, you can buy it. And also remember that if clause, main clause can be used interchangeably. I mean that you can start a sentence with if clause. You write if clause, comma, then the main clause or consequence. Or you can start a sentence with the main clause. I'll buy it if the book is, I'll buy the book if it is interesting. When you write main clause at the beginning, you don't need comma. So punctuation differs here. If clause at the beginning, comma, main clause, or main clause without comma, then if clause. Part 2, action going on. So when we say with if clause type 1, we have present. This present can be present simple, present progressive, and present perfect. Second example, second part is about present progressive here. If he is snoring, I will wake him up. If he is snoring, wake him up. If he is snoring, you can wake him up. Okay? Present perfect. If he has moved into his new apartment, we will visit him. If the action is done in present perfect, if the action is done, uh, we will, if he has moved into his new apartment, we will visit him. If he has moved into his new apartment, visit him. If he has moved into his new apartment, we can visit him. And yes, sometimes remember this one, that you cannot use will in if clause. Be careful. It is impossible to use will in if clause. But we can use should in if clause part. Look, if he should win this race, I will congratulate her. Again, you can use imperative, congratulate her, or we can congratulate her. Now, what is the meaning of should here? Look, we use should in if clauses when somehow uh, somehow we are certain that this will not happen. Okay, the the degree of certainty of happening is really low. For example, I have a student. Uh, he's terribly weak and lazy, and he doesn't study. And I say, mm, if he should pass the exam, I will reward him. Okay, so actually, in this case, I'm sure that he will not pass the exam. But if he should pass the exam, I'll buy, for example, I'll reward him. I'll buy a present for him. So here, because this person believes that she doesn't have the ability, she cannot win the race, says if he should win the race, I will congratulate her. Um, and simple present. Simple present. If or when he gets what he wants, he is very nice. This is actually that zero condition. In both parts, we use simple present. And actually here we are talking about, I told you, some facts and general facts or principle. If you put ice out of refrigerator, it melts. Or if you heat ice, it melts. This is something fact. Uh, if it rains, everywhere gets wet. This is something that happens generally. In these cases, usually we can use if or when. Usually we use when somehow we are certain, sure that something will happen. I know that after the class, my son goes home, direct goes home. I say, okay, when you get home, for example, when you get home, turn on the air conditioner. If he gets home, he turns on the conditioner. When is used when we are somehow sure that something will happen and done. Okay, good. Unless, if not. So this note part is also important. Also, we can use unless in if clauses. If unless means if not. For example, if the hurricane doesn't stop, the area will be evacuated. Okay, hurricane means storm, very strong storm. It means that until the hurricane stops, the area will be evacuated. Means destroyed and completely destroyed. So, if unless means if not. Let's come up with some other examples. Our own example. If the book is interesting, I'll buy it. Now, with unless. I will buy the book unless it is not interesting. I will buy the book unless the book is not interesting. It means that if it is interesting, I'll buy it. I'll go on a picnic unless the weather is not good, is not nice. I will immigrate to Canada unless I don't get the visa. Okay? Thank you. Now, please do the exercises related to if clauses on page 37. Next part, next video. First, I will check these parts and then continue with the rest. Okay, now let's go back to the book, page 23, please. Page 23. Page 23, 6a. Choose the correct answer in the following sentences. Book. Go to page 23 and 6a. Choose the correct answer in the following sentences. Yes, 23. Thank you. Number 1. Let's do together. If you have eaten lunch, which one? Wash dishes or you wash the dishes? Yeah, here we use imperative. If you have eaten lunch, wash the dishes. Very just simply, let me give you the Farsi meaning in order to make it a little bit tangible. اگر ناهارتو خوردی و تموم شده ظرفا رو بشور. Okay? This is the meaning of the actually present participle in conditional sentences. اگه ناهارتو خوردی تموم شده ظرفا رو بشور. اگه دوستت به خونه جدید نقل مکان کرده برو دیدنش. If she has moved into new apartment, visit her. Number 2. If it should or will rain, we will take a walk. As you remember, I told you we never ever use will in if clauses, so definitely should is correct here. If it should rain, we will take a walk. If it should rain, because you look at the sky and you see no clouds in the sky, so the possibility of raining is very low because it is sunny. So you say, if it should rain, we will take a walk. Number 3. If he is traveling, so for the main clause, in the rules, we didn't have present continuous or progressive. So we can use auxiliaries, imperative or will. We cannot use present progressive. So if he is traveling, he may take the bus. Number 4, when they arrive, we will eat. Number 5, if we wish, I can go home. If we finish, I can go home. Okay, so with when, number 4, I said that somehow we are sure that they will arrive. When they arrive, we will eat. Okay, thank you. Now, practice part, you're supposed to fill in the blanks, complete the sentences with a correct form of the verbs. Let's do them together. If you drop your phone, look in parentheses here, we have possibly break. So, may can be a better choice here. If you drop your phone, it may break, because we can use auxiliaries. You remember in the rules, 3 parts: will, imperative, or auxiliaries. Here, because of possibilities, may is a better choice. It may break. Number 2, if the pain doesn't stop, call the emergency case. Imperative. Number 3, Alice can feel the animals if she stays at home. Is able to, so we can use auxiliaries. Which auxiliary has the meaning of to be able to? Can. So Alice can feel the animals if she stays at feed. Sorry, I'm so sorry. This is feed. Alice can feed the animals if she stays at home. Number 4, you may miss the bus if we don't hurry. Number 5, if you have finished your homework, we have suggests. What do we use to give suggestions? For giving suggestions, and you know that in main clauses we use will, imperative, and also auxiliaries. So we should choose one of them that can also have the meaning of giving suggestions. If you have finished your homework, for suggestions you can use let's. It's somehow actually imperative form. Let's go out. Or you can just simply say go out. Go out. Or so you can say let's go out. Number 6, if you heat water, this is actually zero conditional, something that is fact principle. So if you heat water, it boils. 7, if you get the time, please, so it is imperative. Please clean up your room. Number 8, we blah 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 for help if the weather condition worsen. Worsen, look, worsen here comes from worse. Sometimes we can add en at the end of adjectives and make them verbs. Worse, is an adjective. Worsen, adding en at the end of the adjective makes it a verb. Means makes the condition worse. For example, we have an adjective like short. We add en, shorten, and make it a verb. Shorten means make something short. For example, my pants are too long. I should shorten them means make them short. This is worsen means make something worse. As you see in parentheses, it is obliged to ask means obligation. And for obligation, we use must, I don't know, have to. So here it is main clause. In main clause conditional type 1, we use will. So we will have to ask for help if the weather or you can categorize them according to their topic. For example, you can write all these multi-word verbs related to weather, in terms of travel, and in terms of work. It depends on the way that you can learn and remember them easier. Okay, now here they have been categorized in terms of their prepositions. Now, there were some multi-word verbs here. You're going to use them and complete these parts. You should be careful about the definitions. Number one is done for you. Put the computer mouse on a specific place and press. This is a term that really you use a lot and you come across a lot. Click on. Wear clothes to see if you want to buy them, or not. So when you want to buy something, a piece of cloth, you first try on them in order to see if they fit you or suit you. Try on. Have a good relationship and like each other. Go on. You go on, for example, well with your friend, you go on well with your colleagues, co-workers, your family members. Off. Exit from a website. When you want to exit from a website, you log off that program. Remove your clothes, take off, opposite of put on. Up. Behave badly. Behave badly with this proposition. A multi-word verb will be act. Act up. Act up means behave badly. Um, children usually act up when they go out with friends. They act up means they behave badly. Teenagers should control themselves and don't act up with their parents means with behave badly with their parents. And the relationship, yes, you had here in friendship. Yes, I split up with him means I end a relationship. Split up also we have break up. Break up or split up. Move the computer mouse to see earlier pages. Scroll up. Look, I'm scrolling up. I'm scrolling down. Wear especially smart or colorful clothes, for example, for a party. Dress up. Dress up means wear smart and fashionable formal clothes. Opposite is here. We will have it here. Okay, down. Choose to live a calm life, for example, at home with your spouse. Spouse means husband or wife, your partner. Uh, settle down. Okay. Um, Finally, she got married and settled down in a beautiful house in a small town, for example. Wear clothes to work that are not smart, for example, old jeans. Dress down, opposite of dress up. Switch off the computer, you know, shut down. Okay, now, next part. Let's first read the questions, then I'll give you some explanations. Which verb needs an object? We have look 3 verbs here. Look at these verbs and their definitions. Try something on, get on, and shut down. Within these 3 verbs, which verb needs an object? Look here, we say try something on. So try on here, definitely we need an object here. Try the shoes on, try the shirt on. So try on needs an object. So try on, to put on a piece of clothing to find out if it fits or if you like it or if it suits you. Can I try these jeans on, please? So it needs an object. Number 2, which verb does not need an object? You can search here and see, look, which one doesn't need an object? Very good. Get on doesn't need an object. Which verb can be followed by another preposition? If you take a look at here carefully, you will see that here we need another preposition. Get on with somebody. So, get on can be followed by another preposition. These days I get on well with my parents, with my son. So it can be followed by another preposition. Okay. And sorry about number 1. Shut down also needs a preposition, but not definitely all the time. But shut down also needs an object. Shut the computer down. Shut the TV down. Let me read the definitions. Get on. Phrases verb 1, British English. If people get on, they have a friendly relationship. Plus with, she doesn't get on with my mom very well. Shut down. Phrasal, if a company, factory, machine, etc. shuts down, or if you shut it down, it stops operating. Hundreds of local post offices have shut down. So, shut down can be used with an object or without an object, but try on needs an object. Number 1, get on, try on. Number 2, get on. And number 3, get on with. Now here, look, we have some exercises. Use the dictionary definition to help you decide which sentences are possible. Mark the sentences with a check or a cross. Now, number 1. I tried the suit on. I tried on the suit. Which one is correct? Both of them. You can use both of them. You can say I tried the suit on or I tried on the suit. Number 2. I get on really well with Simon. I get Simon on really well. Which one? Very good. Only the first one. We cannot use the second one. Second one is not correct. Number 3. You need to shut down the computer. You need to shut the computer down. Number 3 again, both sentences can be used. You have studied this grammar actually before, but very quickly let me tell you what the story is behind this. Look, in phrasal verb, in multi-word verbs, these verbs are divided into two groups. Some of them that they need object. I mean, those ones that they need objects. These multi-word verbs can be divided into two groups: separable, inseparable. Separable comes from separate. It means that we can separate two parts of the verb and put the object between them. Just like try on. Can I try on the shoes? Can I try the shoes on? So we can separate and put the object between two parts of the verb. But some of them are inseparable. It means that we cannot separate the verb and preposition and put the object between them. Just like which one? Just like number 2. I get on well with Simon. We cannot say I get Simon on well. Got it? Let me provide you with some more examples. For example, turn the TV on. Turn on the TV. We can separate them. Put your shoes on. Put on your shoes. But, for example, listen to. Oh, listen to this music. Listen to this song. It is so beautiful. You cannot say listen music to. Listen to this music. Look at the board. You cannot say look the board at. It is inseparable. Actually, this part wants to talk about these kinds of verbs, separable verbs, the verbs that need objects, separable and inseparable. And the only way is just to memorize them. There is no rule. I cannot provide you with a rule that these ones are separable, these ones are inseparable. No, you should just one at a time, just learn and check it in dictionary and see which ones are separable and which ones are inseparable. Okay, thank you very much. In order to have some more practice, you can check these multi-word verbs in dictionary for your own information and find out which ones are separable and which ones are inseparable. And for further information and further practice, do Vocabulary Bank, page 44. Thank you very much. And this is the end of part 2.